Hello everyone. In today's video, I'm taking a look at the AKASO Brave 4. This is a budget 4K action camera. Now the first thing to note is that there are multiple cameras called the AKASO Brave 4. And no, I'm not talking about how there's a Brave 4 Pro. Now, to my knowledge, there are at least 4 different variations of the Brave 4, and they are all slightly different in terms of video capability and corresponding app. I don't know what they were thinking. Like, I don't know, have a suffix or something. Throw a S. Have a plus. Do something. Don't have all 4 versions be called the same product. It just makes it extremely confusing as to what I am buying. Anyway, after wasting half an hour of my life, I have found out that the camera I am holding is the AKASO Brave 4 version 1.1. So we're already off to a bad start, but it gets worse. Inside the box, you get a ton of accessories. Now, this is a very pessimistic take, but I don't trust any freebies that are included in the box. In my experience, a ton of cheap, crappy action cameras like to include freebies in the box in order to convince people that they are getting a better deal. But keep in mind that the manufacturing cost of all of this plastic is definitely included in the asking price of the product. Alright, I think that's enough premature judging. Let's look at the camera on its own merit. So here's a closer look at the camera. It's got a pretty typical GoPro-like layout. The materials feel pretty decent. Something like the cheap Head 720 starts making noise if I squeeze it too hard. No such thing out of this thing. So up front you have your power and your mode button, LCD screen. Up top you have your OK/shutter button. On this side you have your micro SD, micro USB, and micro HDMI. On this side you have your up and down buttons and a speaker. Finally, on the bottom, you have access to the battery door. Thankfully, this uses a pretty standard battery. I don't know if this has a specific name. I've definitely seen it used in other cameras though. So I'm not going too far into how to use this thing. Pretty much all action cameras have a pretty similar control scheme. You just hold the power button to turn it on. You can press the shutter button at any point in order to start recording. You tap the power button or the mode button in order to switch video modes. You can look at your gallery and cycle through settings. That's pretty much it. It's a very simple and straightforward camera. Now, as for additional controls, if you press up at any time, this will enable Wi-Fi, and if you press down, this will disable audio on your video. I don't know why it does that, and I couldn't find any way to remap what down does, but let's look at the Wi-Fi. Is this thing frozen? Alright, so I've gotten my first freeze on camera. That's nice. Nothing to do now than to force a shut off. Okay, nothing to do now other than to pull the battery. So here are the default network settings. Now once connected, the screen will turn off. Now as for the app, my app specifically uses the AKASO DV app. There we are in the live preview. Now this looks like a very primitive app. I don't find the front LCD here to be too useful. I mean, what is it telling me? I have half battery, I have loop recording enabled, I'm in video mode, and I have an SD card inserted. If I start a recording, it's kinda nifty since it's giving me a live timer, but that's it. As for battery life, I was able to get around an hour and 10 minutes of recording on 2K30, but it can vary per camera, and you can just buy a battery that has additional capacity. The main video modes I am testing today are 4K24, 2K30, 1080-60, and 1080-30. It does have other video modes, but I'm not testing 720p. So with all of that out of the way, let's look at some sample video. I feel like doing something different. So today I'm walking from Spreckles Lake here all the way to Tan Fran, and I'm just gonna do like a vlog type thing as sample video. So this is 1080-30. This was recorded around sunrise, and you can see that the video stabilization needs ample light for it to work. Otherwise, you're left with this rather shaky mess. Even in broad daylight, I'm not very impressed. I'm not saying it should be GoPro levels of stabilization, but I feel like it should be able to handle basic walking. Dynamic range is rather lacking in 1080p. If you look at the plants on the left, you can see that they are completely black. There is no detail here at all. I have a very unscientific way of appraising 1080p video. My monitor is 768p. Yes, I am from the Stone Age. 1080p is already being downscaled to play. It should look absolutely incredible on my monitor, but it doesn't, which brings me to say that I think this is upscaled and not a native 1080p. 2K30. I'm approximately 1 hour in. I've only made it to Stonestown, but it's too early and it's not even open yet. Crap. I find 2K to be the best video mode here. It doesn't have the graininess that 1080p had, and dynamic range is a little bit better, but it's still not great. I don't think it's handling colors perfectly. If you look at the clouds on the left, there's definitely something off about them. It's struggling with wind noise as well. 4K 24. It's around hour 2. I'm in the middle of some massive strode in Daly City. Very nice. Anyway, I don't use 4K because 1, it's not true 4K. It's some weird resolution, and 2, it's also 24 frames per second. I don't know why I would want to shoot cinematic 24 frames per second on an action camera. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I have to take back my first point here. It turns out it was just a Windows thing. On Mac, it does register as proper 4K, 3840 by 2160. This is a good frame to point out some chromatic aberration. It's where the edges of objects have slight color distortion. The left side of the stop sign is red, and the right side is blue. This happens in all of the video clips, and is most noticeable on the edges of the video. "24 frames per second is only good for stationary shots. If you try moving with this thing, it's gonna be a mess. "1080-60. It's hour 3. I'm barely in the borders of South San Francisco. I don't like using 1080-60. I feel like it's a little noisy. It can't handle shadow details very well. And the image overall just isn't that clear. "2K30. Alright, I finally made it. It took around 3 hours 45 minutes. I wonder how many city jurisdictions I've passed through today. SF, Daly City, Culp, SSF, and then finally San Bruno. That's 5. Wow. To finish off the day, I went up to Twin Peaks so that I can do a head-to-head comparison between all 4 video modes here. So this is somewhat shocking. I thought 1080-60 was giving up dynamic range in order to get extra frame rate, but it turns out just 1080p in general has terrible dynamic range. Finally, here's a 250% zoom in so that you can compare detail between all four. So overall, I'm not very impressed by this camera. 4K 24 looks absolutely terrible in motion, making it an action camera that can't handle any action. 2K 30 is the best mode here, but it still suffers from chromatic aberration. 1080-60 has very poor dynamic range, and in my opinion, it doesn't feel like a true 1080p. 1080-30 has all the drawbacks of 1080-60 without any of the benefits of the additional frame rate. There is no point in ever using 1080-30. It might seem that I don't like this camera, but to be fair, it is still vastly better than most of the stuff I've featured on this channel. As an overall package, I think it's pretty decent. Personally, I wouldn't pay anything over $40 for this though.